Before the world sees your wins, your soul has to feel your work. It's the reps nobody applauds that produce the wins that do, all through a shifting of your identity into a dominator. This is all done in the dark every single day. So let me be your guide as I welcome you to this episode of the Dark Work Daily.
Happy Monday from Rome, Italy. I am out here the last day. Yesterday, got to the airport in Rome, went to the bathroom, went to wash my hands. I have a big backpack, I carry one bag, and somehow I threw my back out, just standing there. Had to be wheelchaired out of the airport. And by the end of the day, I was finally kind of walking, like just having like a plank hold for my core. Today I was able to wander around, so I'm feeling better. Phil was crazy. That's not today's episode though. Today's episode is that Germany got eliminated again. I think it's the third straight World Cup that the Germans have been eliminated from the knockout round. What's crazy, Paraguay beat them, right? Paraguay's never been in the knockout round until now. And it's interesting because Germany has the most overall World Cup wins with 4, I want to say. You know, that happens. There's countries that end up doing well that weren't expected to do well. You know, it's kind of an interesting thing. And it ties in, I think, to the way they probably function and show up as an expectation. Like Egypt, you know, is in there. And I think Canada has had its first knockout win ever as well. And so they're in this position where, you know, they're going home and they shouldn't have. Germany is going home earlier than they're supposed to go home. They're supposed to do well. And maybe you're not following the World Cup. I'm not heavily following it, to be honest. I'm just paying attention to some stuff. My son's paying attention way more. But, you know, you look at the same thing of like individuals who have won at things and the way that they show up after winning something. Like when you've won, sometimes it's the worst time for you. Actually, there's stories about, you know, this, I guess, fables or stories you want to call it, but it's actually true that the most vulnerable that a lion is after a kill. After it's already killed something, gone crazy, won, right? Killed something, it's eaten, and it's digesting. That is the time when it's the easiest to kill because it's the most vulnerable. It's when you've won that most people are most at risk of losing, most situations. And so, yeah, I take this back to like my NFL days. When teams have won, sometimes like they are the next year not as good. There's few teams that have ever like gone back-to-back Super Bowls, or, you know, back-to-back even playoffs sometimes. I mean, you got to be really good to do it, but the ones that are able to do it, it's because the teams and the coaches understand, hey, now that our team has won this next season, we got to get after it even harder. We got to get these people fired up, because if not, we're going to just kind of settle into being comfortable having been on top. So the reality is for submitters in the world, they do that. You can be a dominator and at some point slide into submitter activities before you even know it. And so the truth of how we live our lives has got to be that you have to get set as a standard for how you do things. Dominators have a standard for how they operate, how they function, what they do, to where the outcome isn't what drives their energy. The outcome isn't the thing that makes you feel good or feel bad or give you it. It's a matter of, this is how I do things every single day at this level, practice-wise, preparation-wise, whatever it is. And then what happens is over time, you find yourself in a position where it's a normal thing for you to be winning. And I don't know where this may show up in your life. Maybe it's winning at your daily habits, you know, to where you can actually win in being the leader in your career, leader in your industry as a business owner. Maybe it's you want to be a great parent. Well, what does it look like when you've had great times? Do you continue to, you know, as a good parent, you just fall back to the wayside, let the kids kind of slide off track, and it's no big deal. They had a good week last week, they'll have a bad week this week. No, a standard is in place. The standard produces the outcomes you desire long term. And that's really what our focus should be as people, is how do we have continuous success long term? And it's all going to be a matter of how you adopt certain habits that are played into your life day in and day out. It's not getting to the point of feeling comfortable because you've already won, comfortable because you've had success. So my simple thought to you is take a look at Germany as an example. You know, so much possibility and opportunity and potential in what they should have done. And I'm not guaranteeing or saying that I know what goes on. Obviously, it's be naive of me, but when you got a team that is, say, historically good, that gets beat by a team that's historically not as good, there's something going on. And who knows what it is? Maybe they walked there thinking they had it in the bag, or maybe it's just, you know, things happen. But truth of the matter is, the ones that are hungriest usually win. And the hunger is a deep down the thing that you can't just produce on day one. It's based on the preparation, what you do leading up to that. And then when you get to that day, what do you have in your tank is based on what you put in that tank from reps and effort and grit and grind and preparation, not assuming that you're good or you're better. It doesn't matter how you assume what you think. It matters the moment, the actual moment of the block, the kick, the shot, whatever, the cross. Those things matter. So, don't be like Germany. Dial in.
If this episode stirred something in you, good. That means there's work to be done. Don't ignore it, because listening is just the beginning. Because real change happens when you engage and you commit. So I invite you to join the Dark Work community inside the Dark Work app, which is where you communicate with amazing people on the same journey as you. You can find it on the App Store and the Google Play Store right now. Step into the conversations that sharpen your habits, strengthen your identity, and keep you locked in to the Dark Work.